Alright, before we get into the park proper, I just want to point out that I missed a headline towards the start of this stage. Remember to hit those garbage cans, people. Alright, I'll meet you in the actual levels we're going to be doing. And welcome back to Let's Play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. This time around, we're taking Michelangelo out on the town, a character who, on the obligatory tier list that people make, tends to bottom out for reasons that we're going to get into. Not to say that he doesn't have his strengths, and I definitely kind of prefer to play as him over some of the much slower characters in this game, but let's just say a lot of Mikey's moves in this game function in very unusual ways that are mostly to his detriment. Now, we are, of course, chasing down Bebop and Rocksteady on a level much like the sewer surfing level of Turtles in Time fame, or Neon Knight Riders, depending on what you prefer. And we have these beetle drones who are very easily taken care of with rising attacks, followed by a jump kick. Oop, already failed the challenge. Now, Michelangelo is a character who has high attack speed but low range. One thing that's actually unusual about Mike, considering this, is that he actually has pretty high ending lag on his normal combo string, so it can be very easy for him to end up committing to attacks he'd rather not do so. He has a pretty good rising attack that hits 3 times. In general, Mikey has a lot of moves that fill up his ninja power very quickly. Some of the bigger problems he has, though, well, this is not so much a problem. He has a very weird jumping kick that, also we failed the avoid obstacles challenge already. He has a jumping kick that causes him to bounce off on the initial hit, and then he can redo it to do a kick that'll pass through the enemy and take him to the ground like another character would do. Now, by far the worst aspect of Michelangelo, I always forget there's 3 there. Check this out. Yep. Well, that was not working out how I was intended. Well, Michelangelo has a very weird slide attack that involves him spinning on his shell. Now, the problem with this slide attack is twofold. One, the hitbox for it is in the center of Michelangelo's body. So, that means that he does not trump certain moves that other slide attacks would. The other problem that he has with it is that it does not pass through enemies like the other slide attacks do. He comes to a dead halt when he hits an enemy with it, so it more often than not sets him up for taking additional hits that he otherwise could have avoided if he just didn't use it. One advantage it does have, though, is that it stays active for a very long time, so it is actually pretty good for hitting enemies who are in a wake-up status. Now, to get into Michelangelo's super attacks, he of course has his grounded super, which has very good horizontal range, but deceptively small vertical range. It does not hit things that are below Michelangelo on a vertical plane very well. One thing you'll notice about jumping supers is that they're very similar between all the characters. They just dive down to the floor and deal a ton of damage. Hopefully we can get our power up here so that I can perform his dashing or his cartwheel super. This one's pretty interesting, but also kind of falls into the similar problem. Here we go. It is a Liu Kang style bicycle kick. It is runs into a similar problem with the shell attack, or the slide attack, where it just stops after you hit one enemy, so I'm not a huge fan of a lot of Michelangelo's moves. They just have properties that kind of work against him, but this rising attack is pretty sweet, I will admit that. Other than that, he's got a pretty good shoulder toss. That comes out very quickly, so he's one of the better characters with throwing, especially because his low range is going to have him being close to the enemy anyway, so he can pretty easily set up for grabbing them. So that's an option if you want to do some crowd control. Just do repeated shoulder tosses. One thing to note that's a little disappointing about the throws in this game is that while every character has a pretty unique shoulder toss attack, also I'm doing terrible here, while every character has a unique shoulder toss attack, fling tosses and ragdoll slams are pretty much universal between the characters. They behave completely identical between all of them. It's not like the Super Nintendo version of Full Shoulder Turtles in Time, where certain characters could do like fling tosses faster than others. Like Raphael had a very fast fling toss. It's pretty similar between all the characters in this game, and you'll probably rarely see me use those moves due to the problems with them. Anyways, we got the boss here. You can tell what it's going to do based on which character pops out. If Rocksteady pops out, he's most likely throwing grenades, or he can use his shotgun to fire a salvo of shots at you. When Bebop pops out, he's gonna use that flail to try and hit you, and then, oh, there comes the shotgun, and One annoying thing about the dodge in this game is that it's a little inconsistent about where it'll go. If you're pointing in a given direction, it'll take you in that direction. However, if you aren't holding a direction, it'll always send you backwards. So you have to be mindful about how you're holding the controller. Now, there's one more attack that they can do, and I'm getting hit by the grenades here. Generally, you just want to get 2 swipes in while Rocksteady, rather, is flaring the grenades. Also, I did pretty bad there. Let's see, are they going to use their final attack? No. When Bebop uses the flail, that's a good opportunity to taunt and get your power-up. I would not recommend using anything besides grounded supers here, since aerial supers put you too far into the tenderizer and will result in you taking some damage, most likely. And, well, same with cartwheel supers. That'll just put you in too close. It'll most likely result in you getting hit. One nice thing about the grounded supers is that it also has a tendency to smack away the grenades. And sometimes, here comes the final attack, they'll pop out of the window and laugh at you, and then they will back up and start charging towards you. You can manipulate this, or rather influence where this is going to go by standing on a specific section of the screen. Oh, that attack is very annoying to dodge when he just comes out all of a sudden with it. Very rarely he uses that when you're right in his face. But yeah, you want to stand towards, like, just to demonstrate, like, right here, and it'll go straight back, and then it won't bounce very much when it's just traveling along the screen. Can I get this fight done without a life loss? Nope, as soon as I say it. Yeah, I've been figuring this fight out, and I can do it pretty consistently when I'm not under the pressure to explain my actions. We're pretty close to done with this, though. Ooh, jeez. Luckily, that does not go as far down on the screen as it looks like. One nice thing about Michelangelo is that he has a relatively fast taunt. All the characters in this game have different taunt speeds, some longer than others. Raphael has a very fast one. By contrast, Donatello, who has some of the strongest supers, has an extremely slow taunt. Yep, yeah, that was not a good idea. I should have just went straight back. Again, I'm kind of zoning out trying to explain everything. Oh dear. And that's kind of the thing where I wasn't paying attention to what direction I was going to be going in with the cartwheel, so I ended up taking a needless hit there. But other than that, this is not a terribly difficult level once you figure out how it works out. I really dig Mikey's level clear animation here, as it's extremely similar to the leap the characters did in the arcade version of Turtles Time, as well as the Super Nintendo version. They did their best to get all the original voice actors back together. Sadly, though, James Avery, since the conclusion of the Fred Wolf cartoon, had sadly passed. I believe he had died in 2013. That's not to say he was the sole voice of Shredder in the original series, but he was the voice of him for the bulk of it, so I kind of just assume it's always going to be him as the classic Shredder voice. Anyways, Episode 4, Rumble in the Zoo. This level introduces a few new stage hazards to concern about, and one of the challenges is, once again, avoiding stage hazards, which is harder than you'd expect due to one specific hazard towards the end of the level. One thing to note about Michelangelo is that his flying attack from off of a cartwheel and his dash attack are basically the same attack, except the flying attack does not inflict knockback. This is another aspect about Michelangelo that's pretty weak in comparison to other aspects of the characters. His dash attack not only inflicts knockback, but it only deals 1 damage, so not only does it do less damage than most dash attacks, it also sends the enemies flying away and makes it hard to capitalize off of, which I think is a pretty poor design decision. It really should deal more damage if it's going to do that. Ditto with his neutral super, actually. It deals 2 damage on hit, but it has such high knockback, it's most likely going to knock enemies out of it and not actually kill them. That's very common with enemies that have 5 HPs, like the, well, very frequent Dark Purple Foot Clan. Yep. Yeah, those guys do those Donovan-style uppercuts from Streets of Rage when you do jump attacks. That's a unique thing that the Dark Purple Foot Clan do. Luckily, when they are busy eating ice cream and we cruelly slaughter them during it, they're not so good at countering the slide attack. You know what? I am forgetting to check the stage hazard, or rather the garbage in the environment there, which is a good thing that I did, because I would have missed that diary there. When you get used to playing in arcade mode, you kind of just get used— oh hey, it's Attila. The Punk Frogs make a cameo appearance in this game. We will be finding all of them over the course of it, and like other characters that we found at this point, there is a collectible associated with them that we can get some bonus points if we get all of them. One thing I could probably stand to do is integrate more heavy attacks into Michelangelo's combos, but I always just forget to do that kind of thing. These Archer Foot Clan are one-hit wonders. They just die in a single hit. They shoot their arrows, and then they just get off screen. They do not want to die. Whoop. There we go. Easy peasy. Yeah, as you can see, his shoulder toss, which is more like you know, he just lifts them. He does like an Elena-style foot fling. Also, that was bad. Oh dear, there is a pizza. No! There's a pizza right off screen. It is so easy to end up taking a ton of hits when you're trying to explain everything you're doing in a beat 'em up, but it's okay. One benefit of doing the New Game Plus style is that I get 5 extra lives as opposed to the 3 you normally start with when starting a completely fresh new game. And just some sushi there, not anything we have to worry about. Now you want to go to the top of the screen here because we've got a stampede. May as well as use this opportunity to taunt and get some ninja power back. We will hit these explosive drums here and, well, oh man, just everything is going wrong on the challenge front here. So I've pretty much failed most of the challenges already. Although I guess I'm still in line to, what is the other challenge? Oh, we gotta use fling slams. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do that, that's just such a terrible move. I never pay enough attention. I think you get some points for clearing challenges, but not really enough, and obviously it doesn't matter too much when I'm already at the level cap anyway. And like I said, a lot of these challenges that don't involve avoiding damage or hazards, a lot of them really are just spamming moves over and over again. It's really tedious and boring to watch, and also increases the chance that I'm gonna die in the process. Let me see, I think I'm missing a secret again. Yeah, well, it's not a huge deal if I miss some secrets. Oh, whoa. Now, these monkeys are hands down the worst hazard. They will hang out in the background throwing bananas at you periodically, and those bananas come out lightning quick. It's very easy to lose track of them and not notice them coming, and they do count as hazards, so they are very likely to flunk the challenge on you. Fortunately, these monkeys are taking a little siesta, so we don't have to worry about them. And let's just get this guy some more points, even though it doesn't matter for me in the story mode anymore. Let me see. Okay, yes, there we go. I was really hoping that the last secret was there. I was like, I don't want to have to go back and level again. I'm doing this under the implication that I know what I'm doing, right? And we will... Oh, whoa. I did not realize you could be punched out of the bicycle kick. Yeah, well, not a huge deal. Hey, are we going to get through this without getting hit by the obstacles? We'll see. Just one last thing to worry about. Well, actually, there's 2 more things to worry about, but that one's not too bad. And at the end of the level, we've got Ground Chuck and Dirtbag, 2 characters I do not remember from the cartoon, as I've not really watched a ton of episodes from it. I just had a bunch of the earlier episodes on VHS. I also had a DVD of Season 2. So... this is a dual boss. Dirtbag will burrow under the ground and attempt to hit you with his shovel. Ground Chuck will either shoot his horns out like that, approach you and try to do a limp kick, or more often than not, he will... Oh, whoops. And yeah, that is the hazard that we have to watch out for, is the pits that Dirtbag digs. When he's shooting his horns out like that, that is a good opportunity to attack Ground Chuck. Surprised I didn't flunk the... Did I already flunk the objective? Oh, no. Whoop. Alright. Yeah, always in boss fights, try to go for aerial supers, unless there is, like, a reason you would take damage doing a different kind of super. Aerial supers just do the most damage overall, and they come out very, very quickly. The drawback of that is that aerial supers have very limited invincibility frames, so you have a high probability of taking damage while performing them. And much like Bebop and Rocksteady, Ground Chuck and Dirtbag, they do not have friendly fire disabled, so they are able to hurt each other, which works out for our favor, really. Whoop. Whoop. Ah, I was trying to jump over his kick there. Oh! Yeah, one thing that is really excuse me. One thing that's really annoying about the wake-up roll in this game is that it has no invincibility, so it is so easy to roll into a hit, especially since it's just such a reflexive option to take. Now, once Ground Chuck ground chuck is by his lonesome, he's going to start doing the charges repeatedly. This is a very good opportunity to just taunt and get your super up, and then when he finally stops, then you can hit him with that. And he likes to do these charges back to back, and it's very difficult to hit him without taking damage yourself while he's doing them, so it really is just behooves you to do taunts repeatedly so that you can hit him with supers, like so. And he's doing his little horn blast. If I can just hit him. Oh, no! And we can just nail him with a dash attack. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm not very consistent about doing double tap dashes these days. Oh, man, I'm failing that repeatedly. Yeah, playing on a standard Switch Pro controller because my Super Nintendo controller is not been functional recently. But we have cleared the level. Not the fastest clear I've ever gotten of this, but good enough. Cowabunga, dudes. Unfortunately, trying to reclaim the android Krang head, it's just getting away on us. Now, who could be taking it? Well, that's something we're going to have to find out in the next video when we go to Stage 5 as a new turtle. Incidentally, we've also completed Burn's special request, so we can turn in his headlines now and get some bonus points. But again, we'll do that next video. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.